Good afternoon. I'm Brett, and welcome to my backyard. Today we're actually in the side yard over here, but it's a beautiful day. It's the first Saturday of spring. It's been about a week since I brought you the last video when we were talking about setting up a Langstroth beehive. And as you can see over my right shoulder, my plum tree is in full bloom right now, and little bees are starting to come out. These are there ones that go out and search ahead of the swarm, starting to collect some of that honey. Right now, they're storing up a little bit of reserves to get prepared because they're about to be swarming season here very soon. So really excited about that. Hope we can catch one. But today, what I want to show you is what we've been working on this past week. I'm going to step out of the view so you can see a little bit here. This is a new bed I've prepared for the year, and it's I don't know. Let's see. It's about 12 by 10 feet or so, 10 by 12, 10 by 14, something like that. And we've tilled it. My brother let me borrow a good old tiller, and we tilled up the dirt. And then we added in a lot of our compost that we've been breaking down over the past year. Now, we've been adding everything to that compost from leaves to kitchen scraps, extra eggs, bark mulch that comes in, and we've just been mixing that back and forth over the past year in with some of the old potting soil and dirt that I've dug up from doing different projects, and just flipping it, making some really good mixture to mix in here. And we've managed to make a raised bed here that I would say on average is about 6 inches taller than the surrounding landscape, which ought to make it easier to work there. We may or may not put a border on it, I'm not sure. But what I want to do in this bed is, let's see, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, and you can see we're still getting good sun. This gets mostly full sun all day long right here. You can see a couple of branches that they'll shade a section or two of it as it goes throughout the day, but it gets a lot of sun each day. And so we're going to plant kind of like they used to a long time ago, and actually using plants as our growing structure for some other plants. This one I've decided to start with corn. Now you can notice the boards that I've laid out, and we're not leaving them are just for me to get into the middle of the bed and be able to walk and put the seeds out as we go along, but also as a guide. I've got them spaces about 30 inches on center. And so what we're going to do is running lengthwise with the boards, we're going to plant first our corn. Now we're going to plant about 2 seeds every 12 inches. Some people recommend planting 3 to 4 or every 6 inches and then thinning it out. But usually you need about 12 inches of spacing between your corn so that it's not robbing the nutrient from the next one, and to be able to make full ears and get the air circulation around it. And then once you have your row, like I say, you should be able to get in this bed about 10 ears going the lengthways of the board. It's good to plant at least 4 rows because of the way that the corn pollinates, to make sure that it all gets pollinated very well. And here we're going to have I think 7-8 rows. We'll see when we get done, but that's going to be our first thing. Like I said, we're going to plant 2 seeds in each hole about 1.5 inches deep, and that's just to make it a better chance that we've got one in each hole to germinate. If we get both of them, we'll thin them out as we go along, but we're going to plant them 12-inch spacing, and then the boards are laid out on 30-inch centers, so 30 inches between each row on our corn, and then 8 rows. That's going to give us enough for good pollination. Now after we get that going, we're going to come back in between each one of them corn plants, so 12 inches between, so about 6 inches in the middle of each one, and we're going to plant some peas and some beans. Now these are good companion plants. The peas and the beans, they help fix the nitrogen to the soil. They're one of them plants, and so that's why they're good to rotate this crop Next year we might do tomatoes here. But having them peas and beans in between, what they're going to do is as the corn grows, then they're going to grow up and use the corn stalk as its trellis. So we've got a living trellis here. And so once the corn will probably come mature before some of the others here, but that's okay. We can just harvest the ears off and leave the stalks until we're ready to harvest everything. And in fact, at the end of the season, we're probably going to just till those corn stalks right back into the dirt there. Now, in that 30-inch spacing, that walkway, once we've got our line of corn, our line of peas planted, then we're going to come back in the middle of that walkway. We're going to plant squash. We're going to plant things probably like crookneck, maybe some zucchini, butternut's one of my favorite. Boy, it's like dessert when you cook it. And we're going to plant these to grow along the ground and be a ground cover, help smother out some of them roots or grass that may try to come up in between there. And then also the way the squash grows, if it's big leaves, it's going to help keep some of that moisture in the ground as we go along and we get warmer. It's already starting to get warm here. Like I said, we're only a week into spring, but this sun and this wind, it's getting warm. It can dry the soil out very quickly, and so that'll be an added benefit. These three plants, corn, peas, squash, they've been planted like that for as long as anybody can remember. They grow very well together, good companion plants, and we're going to see how that goes. I'll keep y'all updated as we go along. Now, before we go, I'll take this and I'll just walk you over real quick. Let's see if we can figure out how to get this turned around. Alrighty. And we'll just show a little better about our spacing. As you can see here, we've got about 30 inches spacing between each one. We're going to grow the corn in rows going this way, 30-inch spacing this way between it, and then in that center part there, that's where we're going to put our squash to be our ground cover. And while we're here, I'll go ahead and give y'all a little peek of my plum tree, hoping to get some good plums off of it this year. Been here 20 years and never really got really great plums off of it, but you can see, you might be able to see there, them bees are really going after it. So, well, I hope y'all enjoyed that video today. If you did, please like and leave me a comment and share that with your friends. Hope y'all have a great weekend.